Hey everybody, welcome to the video. This week we're going to do another sketchbook flip through. I wasn't going to do one of these for a while, but I was flipping through this one and I don't know, reminiscing. Figured may as well share it with you guys. This is a sketchbook that I did in Texas. It started off as a book that was going to be solely for my Sunday church sketches. And then it kind of just turned into my primary sketchbook, but that's what it was for, and so I put a little church icon on the front here. So this is starting out Sunday church sketches. This was our pastor. Just some little caricature studies. Different people from around church. Some random other little like icon doodles. I forget what that was for. I was designing something for somebody. Yeah, so most of these first few pages are definitely just from church. I hope this is in focus. I'm going to try to keep it as in focus as possible. So, in between these two pages, I had broken my wrist, and so when I went to the doctor to get it cast, they had to cast my thumb. I broke the bone. I broke this right here. And it's, man, what was it called? Your scaphoid, I think. Basically, when you fall backwards or fall down, a lot of times you'll land on your hands, and that bone is the one that tends to get broken when you do that. So I fractured mine. It wasn't a major break, but they did have to cast it, and they had to cast my thumb as well. And the doctor was cool. He was, I explained what I did for a living, and he was like, well, he's like, that's going to be really hard with a cast thumb. So he at least had me grab a pencil or he had me like hold my hand like I was grabbing a pencil, and then he casted it. So I could at least attempt to work. It was really hard, but these drawings were actually done with my broken hand, like hand in a cast. And I actually really like the way they came out. They're really loose because I was really forced to use my whole arm rather than just my wrist. I kind of had to do what I'm supposed to do. You're really not supposed to draw from your wrist, and you get trapped in that a lot of times. So it really forced me to move my elbows and draw from the shoulder. And yeah, I really like the way these turned out. And then they're colored with Prismacolor markers. This guy I saw at Walmart, he just had this like flowing red hair, flowing orange hair. Some little dinosaur character thing, cute little character dinosaurs. A doodle page. Another doodle page of lions. These were shape studies, by the way. I don't know if you can see the pencil line here, but I would start off with just kind of a pencil shape, sketching a line around it, and then I went through and inked it. I don't know what I inked this with, by the way. It looks kind of like it looks almost just like a ballpoint pen in some places, but nothing. It's nothing special. It's just going to be whatever pen I had lying around. Market Street. This is from 2013. Market Street, by the way, is it's a grocery store in Texas. If you're unaware, this lady with her crazy hair. This girl was there waiting for a date. They decided to meet at the grocery store cafe diner area for their fancy date. She was really dressed up and really, you could tell she was just sitting there waiting, and she waited for a long time. It actually got to a point where it was kind of sad. So this lady was in Walmart at the McDonald's, and this kind of crosses the line from drawing a funny caricature to kind of just making fun of the person, but I mean, it was so ridiculous, the scene that we saw. So I just had to kind of run with it. Uh, she's got some fries stuck between her boobs. Just little caricatures, a little doodle page of sharks, and this was, I guess, a crab, but I just stopped before I got to the claws. And some jellyfish. This is back at Market Street, I believe. This is done with a ballpoint pen. This lady, she's wearing these pants that look like she had stolen a bunch of children's pants and like children's skirts and put them all on her legs and wore them out the store. Uh, so it was just so ridiculous. So I drew this one up here and hated the drawing, but I at least got that down. And that's why this big box is around it, because I was like, ugh, just focus on the pants here. And then I redrew her in this much weirder shape, but I don't know, more interesting to me. Ballpoint pen sketches. Ballpoint pen, I have no idea. Some kind of, I mean, this might be like a zebra brush pen and colored pencil. I like this guy's face. This guy was just so like snarly about his food. Yep, more sketches. More sketches. This book, I don't know, I had a lot of fun in this book. I don't know, you probably might even be able to tell. I was just enjoying myself. I was enjoying doing people sketches. This woman was in the hospital in the waiting room, and my wife and I were there to get a ultrasound or sonogram. I don't really know what the difference is there, but a picture of our baby. And so we're sitting there waiting, and this lady and her family, I think it was her daughter, was there for the same thing. She just looked like she got drug out of bed to come down there, and just didn't seem very happy about the whole situation, which maybe she wasn't, but I definitely felt the need to do a quick sketch and then color at home. But there's something about an old man sitting on a bench that really makes you want to draw him. They just, I don't know, it always looks so cool. Like, this is back at church. This is actually, this was our youth pastor. And then like 2 minutes after I drew him, he stood up and resigned. Like, no joke. It was planned. He was making an announcement. Nobody knew it, but I was sitting there drawing him, and then he got up and started talking, and I was like, oh, wow, he's quitting. Okay. I like this old lady eating her peas. This is definitely one where I had this slope of the forehead and nose. That was like the first thing I recognized. So that was the first thing I put down, and like really, that was my focus with doing that. Which is what I try to do anytime I people sketch. Like, I try to get those initial features down that make them recognizable or noticeable. Even if it doesn't look like them in the end, I still want that feature, that thing I noticed, to come across. Like this guy with his very like not bulbous, but just this curvature on his forehead to his nose. Like it's just very curvy. That's the thing that I notice and put down. Mall cops. Mall cops were so fun to draw. And most of them just took their job really seriously, and I don't really know why. Their main job was to go tell teenagers to calm down and stop running. Um, but they definitely took it serious, and um, they were fun. They made fun characters. This guy was kind of a recurring character we kept seeing at the mall. He always wore these sweatpants tied together with a rope. It made for an interesting drawing. That's what I know. And then this guy, he's just so bubbly. And then I redrew him right here. Which actually, this drawing here actually, I thought captured his likeness a little more. But, just had to redraw him and try to get the overall look down a little bit better. Focus that in. It's more ballpoint pen. I really like sketching with ballpoint pens. You can actually get quite a range of value with them. Just a good old cowboy. We went and visited this other sketch group one night, and this was the thing that they were kind of doing. They like to give themes, and sometimes I like doing that, sometimes I don't. This caught me on a night where I was like, all right, I'm good for drawing. I'm good for being given an assignment. A lot of times though, I like sketch groups to meet in a public place because I like to sketch the public. So this one was actually meeting in like a church, and it was just in one of the classrooms in the church. And so there's nobody there but the other people sketching, which, you could draw them, which I was going to do. But since they were doing this, I participated. And it was a robot dinosaur. This is back at the mall. Man, if you have a mall with a good food court, it is awesome. It is a great place to sketch. I actually finished this guy. I did a digital version. This is Grunge Farter. I think I put him on my blog a long time ago, but he was just grungy looking dude, and he was walking around the mall, and then one time I saw him come around the corner, and he lifted his leg, and I'm pretty sure it was to fart. I mean, I don't know what else you'd lift your leg like that for. But, I saw him for like the fourth time that day, and I'm just sitting there kind of looking at him come around the corner, and lifted that leg to... I've always liked this guy here. Just I liked how how I captured his stretchiness, and I just like the way it came out, especially this big muffin. It looks delicious. This was sitting in Barnes & Noble, by the way. I really don't know where this guy's from. I mean, it's got to be from the mall because he's got a little balloon animal, and that's where, I mean, there was a balloon artist in the mall. This lady and her. So these pants are everywhere now, but these were like when these pants were like the tights that have these crazy patterns on them, southwestern patterns. They were just starting to come into fashion, and they looked ridiculous. And so whenever we saw them, we just kind of was like, oh my gosh, look at those pants. And so I tried to capture them when I could. Just drawing a big guy. Then this guy with his evil look. And this lady with her purple hair. And then, so I drew this lady. I drew her in, and then I drew this guy. And I was like, I really want to color this lady. But it's going to cover up this guy, and I loved his mouth. So I just kind of tried to draw around it, which is fine. I mean, it's a sketchbook, so you can't get too mad about, pages getting messed up or not being the perfect composition. At some point, you have to realize it's a sketchbook. Yes, I try to make my pages look nice, but you know, there's also a freedom to a freedom that's nice of just being able to say it's my sketchbook. I'm the one looking at it. This good old another good old cowboy got his burger. So for this one, I just left like his shirt is just the page color, and then just hit the highlights with a white gel pen. So really, this guy was just kind of an experiment on different marker techniques. I mean, even in the pants and stuff. Very different than what I would do now. This lady, which has her arms dangling out the bottom of her coat, but it looked like she still had arms. Like her arms were stiff enough to, like her sleeves were stiff enough. It looked like her hands were there, but they weren't. They were actually dangling out the bottom. So it was just kind of a weird illusion. And I like this guy. He was sitting there like leaning on a counter, just like macking on some girls, and this girl had just such great, like, a face, like smushed up lips and eyes, that so I drew her here, but then had to do kind of more of a refined face. I like this lady down here. Things like this. Sometimes I really love doing experiments like that, and they're very important. These things teach me a lot, because sometimes they are great successes and sometimes they are great failures, and you can learn from both of them. And just being creative and trying new things, new arrangements, new compositions on your page, new way of showing something, new way of drawing the eyes. It's important to try new things. Experiment. Don't be afraid to ruin it. It's just a sketch. And if you don't do things like that, your drawings just get stale, and you get in a rut where you're drawing the same exact thing over and over and over. This is just a table of guys that met pretty much every time we went sketching at the grocery store. These guys were there. They would just get together and grab a table and chit-chat for as long as we were there. I mean, they'd be there a while. And this guy had such a great face, and he was actually part of that group of guys. Sometimes they would split off and have two different groups. This night he was just by himself, but yeah, this droopy face, man, it was so wonderful. He was fun to draw, and I believe I drew him many times. And then this guy we saw a lot too. Like we found out he was a professor. But he had, I don't know, he just had such a face and such a just stance. And when I first saw him, which this is the first time I saw him, he had all this stuff in his hands. But I swear, when I looked up, I thought he was carrying a bird. Just a weird little side note on that. But I was like, why's that guy got a bird? Oh, it's just a bunch of food. But he always looked so... just miserable, and I don't even know how to describe him. The best way I can describe him is like this. I just drew him. That's how I describe people, as I draw them. So these are zebra brush pens. Some people at the grocery store, and a little octopus and jellyfish. Some more people at the store. Again, experimenting with shapes, experimenting with a lot of stuff. I was experimenting with how I was going to render his zits. Let me see if I can focus on them zits. Everybody wants to, right? Yeah, I mean, you just have to try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. You don't have to do it again. Same thing with, like, this lady's mouth. Just really pull it down. I mean, if when you look at them and you think, wow, that lady's got a really like long upper lip, like her mouth seems like it's just falling. I mean, really push it. May as well. This guy was kind of a recurring character for a while too. Like he seemed to always show up and do some studying or some sort of work. This is a very random doodle page. This is when I'm sitting there and I don't really know what to draw. I'm in the mood to draw. But sometimes it's not that I don't know what to draw. It's that I don't necessarily feel like finishing, doing like a finished illustration. And so I start doodling. Quick little doodles, move on to the next thing, and just makes me happy sometimes. Back at the grocery store. I think this is one of the first times we saw the character that we ended up calling Friendzone. I think this is the first one I did of him. I made him look too old in this one, but this was before we really knew what his gig was. But he would hang out with these two girls, and he would always like try to be so smooth with them. But you can tell they were way less into him than he was them. And I don't know, it was fun to watch, but at the same time kind of depressing and sad. But yeah, so he was in the friend zone big time, and he didn't know it. That's a sad state to be in. This guy eating his sushi. Glorious ponytail. This is when I went back home, sketching with my dad. And the last one might be too. Yeah. So this is in Illinois. This is a guy I actually snapped a picture of. We're at the grocery store with my mom, and he was just walking around. So I snuck over and grabbed a picture of him and then drew him when I got back home. This kid was actually being pushed in to sit on Santa's lap. He did not want to at all. So me and my dad, we went to see the line of kids like waiting to see Santa, and we just drew people in line. It was a wonderful gathering of old farmers and young farmers, kids, and it's just, I don't know, it was a great place to sketch, actually, because they're there. It takes them at least a few minutes to kind of move up in line, so you have some time to draw each person. You have time to scope the crowd. This is Village Inn. This is with my dad's sketch group. My dad started a sketch group back home, and so I went and just kind of hung out with them for a night, and they meet in a Village Inn. It's a pretty good little place to sketch. This was back at the grocery store, still with my dad. When I went home for Christmas, and had the goal to finish this sketchbook while I was there. So the rest of this is from Illinois. But I always liked this guy, just sitting there enjoying his coffee. Oh boy. I believe this is the last page. This is just sitting late night, having kind of a late night out with my dad and sitting in Hy-Vee, the grocery store. And there were a few people there that were just kind of there and eating some breakfast at 10 o'clock at night. So that's it. And so I know this sketchbook started in like earlier that year, and this ended, right at the end of the year of 2013. So, in fact, like these first few sketches, they were done way earlier, and then it took a big break there for a while before it transitioned to my primary sketchbook. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed, perusing my sketchbook. I hope you guys are filling up your own sketchbooks, and thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm no video next week. I'm going to be going down to Florida and just being with family. And yeah, so take a break next week. Enjoy your families. Be thankful for all the good things in your life. And all right, see ya. Have a good one. Bye.